Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and I am Subhash Chandran. In this video, we are going to discuss about different types of piping. See, we have seen there are piping design requirements actually, but these piping design requirements slightly varies with respect to different types of piping. So, isn't it important to understand what are the different types of piping available in piping design? So, let's get started. So, the first piping that I would like to highlight over here is that carbon steel piping. See, carbon steel piping is one of the most standard piping that is predominantly used in piping field. So, irrespective of whichever industry is there, because these are very commonly developed items and more economical items. That's one of the reason why the carbon steels compared to any other materials are more economical. Cost wise, it is very less. Availability is more actually, and life is also good actually, and it withstands lots of corrosion factors also. So economical reasons are predominantly high for the carbon steel. So that's one of the reason carbon steels are mostly preferred. Now let's go to the second one, stainless steel, the second time. Why stainless steels are used? In a high level, if you see, stainless steels are far better than carbon steel in terms of handling corrosions actually. But in comes to stainless steel, you have to understand the material cost is slightly higher. So you have to minimize the welding. So basically, if you are preparing a piping with which has a stainless steel material, you have to be really conscious about providing the shoe supports, because when you provide a shoe support, if you make the shoe support as a stainless steel, that will increase the cost. So how to manage the shoe support in terms of while welding? So generally what happens, the team used to provide a wear plate below the stainless steel, and this wear plate will be of SS material from the same pipe. So you can weld the shoe support below the wear plate, so that will reduce the cost basically. But if you go for a shoe support material as a stainless steel, that will increase the cost like anything. So basically stainless steels are a better material compared to carbon steel, and at the same time cost is slightly higher. So in order to reduce the the associated cost, you have to ensure that your designs are made in such a way to minimize the other costs such as support cost and all actually. So this is about the stainless steel. Now let's go to the third one. The third one is going to be Duplex stainless steel and super duplex stainless steel. This is an upper grade material of stainless steel. So where it is generally used, again, a duplex stainless steel and super duplex stainless steel are highly good at handling the corrosive natures of services basically. So these materials are generally recommended by the material engineer based on various parameters. It is not only one parameter such as the toxicity and corrosive nature, it is about the various other parameters also. But what you have to keep in your mind is that SDSS, these are known as SDSS and DSS, super duplex stainless steel, duplex stainless steel. These are two different materials which is the which are available in stainless steel category in different grades basically. So these materials are comparatively high in strength and as well as good at handling the corrosive fluids basically. So again, once again, if you are handling the DSS and DSS material, you have to ensure that the other cost such as support cost and welding cost has to be minimized actually, because if you are kept on providing a lot of shoe supports, and it's going to increase a lot of cost for the projects. So this is about it. Now let's go to the fourth one. The fourth one is alloy material. So in alloy also there are different types of grades available, but highly, if you wanted to tell you actually, there were monal alloy materials are there and inconal alloy materials are there, and there are different types of material, alloy 825 and alloy 625. There are different types of grades are available. So if you look at the need of the alloys highly works better than DSS and as well as stainless steel. If there are services which is highly corrosive, then alloys are used basically. It's not only for the highly corrosive natures, especially if you take the oxygen services which are highly vulnerable to be used in other materials such as carbon steel, stainless steel. So those oxygen services uses a monal or inconal materials. That is because of the material compatibility with the oxygen. In carbon steel, oxygen services will emit fire. So that is really it's going to be a disastrous scenarios actually. So that's one of the reason why monal and inconals are generally used in oxygen. So here the point is that alloys are used in much highly corrosive services. That's how it is actually. So again, when it comes to piping design, predominantly the change is that you have to ensure the supports are properly provided, because the alloy thickness, wall thickness will be much less. So okay, let me tell you one more point in the previous point in SDSS and as well as alloy. See, when you go to the higher level materials, since the strength of the material is too high, actually the thickness of the material will be very less actually. So you have to ensure that if you are going to put more load in this piping, this will damage the wall thickness, wall of the pipe itself. So when you are handling an alloy material or SDSS material, you have to ensure that the supports are properly provided with the wear plate or reinforcement pad basically. Otherwise, it will cause over a period of time a pinhole damage or the damage which can puncture the pipe and it can go through it actually. So basically in alloy, you have to take care of this, because you are already invested a lot of money by buying this alloy material. Alloy material is nearly 3 to 4 times far higher than the carbon steel materials and SS also. So if you are investing in alloy, you have to be really careful. So all of your micro level design has to be 100% accurate in order to deliver the design before delivering the design to the client. So that's how it is actually. Now let's go to the fifth one. The fifth one is, I would like to tell you is that FRP, GRP and GRE. These are almost the same type of material, but there are minor difference between their composition. It's nothing but FRP is a fiber reinforced pipe, GRP is a glass reinforced pipe, and GRE is glass reinforced epoxy pipe. So I don't want to confuse you by giving a lot of information. These are basically the, if you look at, these are kind of an resin manufactured pipes which are highly good for the sea waters or good for chloride corrosions basically. So you can use these pipes in above ground and also in underground. But as far as piping design is concerned, most of this FRP and GRPs are designed by the vendor. So these pipes and fittings are designed by the vendor. So you have to check the design of the piping and the supporting requirements and the installation requirements from the vendor actually. And most of the standard engineering consultant has the specification for GRE piping also. So you have to really do follow the specifications of the client's. Analysis is very important, because FRP, GRP and GRE are most delicate material. Almost I could say these are like plastic materials, but not as strong as plastic also actually. So when you're using these types of pipes actually, you have to be really careful in putting the supports. If you put the support 1 meter away from the actual location, you will damage the pipe. So that's the condition of the pipe. And if you shake the pipe 1 degree, 2 degree, and if the increase, I mean, even if the sagging of the pipe goes 1 mm, 2 mm higher, it will damage the entire pipe structure actually. So you have to understand that these are most delicate pipes and you have to handle very carefully by going through all the specifications. So this is an other types of pipes which are generally available in the piping industries. These are predominantly used. Now let's go to the sixth one. The sixth one is plastic lined piping. See, these are basically carbon steel pipes which has an inner coating of plastic lines actually. So there are inner coating and as well as inner lining also. So these are used in highly the corrosive services, where you have to ensure that the life of the line needs to be more than 25 years and 35 years, because you don't want to keep on changing the lines because of the corrosive nature of the fluid basically, because these plastic lines are highly can withstand the corrosiveness of any services. So that's one of the reason why oil and gases and as well as petrochemicals uses plastic lined pipes actually. There are different types of plastic that they will use as a lining or coating basically. So but however, these are called as a plastic lined pipes, so which are predominantly used in acid services and high corrosive nature services actually. So with this, let me go to the next one is rubber lined pipes. So instead of plastic, the only difference between rubber lined pipes and the plastic is that in rubber blind, rubbers are used in place of a plastic basically. So again, these are for different purposes and different requirements actually. But here I'm just trying to highlight you that there are different types of piping systems available. Basically, rubber lines are not much used in oil and gas and petrochemicals. These are used in commercial industries where the temperatures and the corrosive natures are far less actually. Now let's go to the next one. The next one is PVC and CPVC. PVC and CPVCs are the same materials that we generally use in housing complex and basically for house plumbing systems basically. But an industrial requirement, the CPVCs are completely different. These are not the same CPVC, though the materials are same, because the material thickness will be different. There will be a lot of testing requirement. There will be material strength requirements are different totally. So basically these are used in HCl services, acid services, and these requires a high level skill for the technician to install. It's not like making an plumbing lines at house complex actually. These are completely different lines where you have to do the hydro testing and everything actually. Like in all material metallic piping testing, you have to comply with the ASME 31.3 for this actually. So that's how it is actually. So now with this, let me go to the next one. The next one is cement lined piping. So cement lined pipings are also a sort of a piping available in piping industries. Most of you might not have seen. These are going to be a lines of fire water line, underground lines basically, or underground water lines. Generally these are of simple water lines which doesn't give supply to any of the critical equipments and all. So cement lines are generally used as a fire water systems in underground. The constructability wise actually, so this will be a carbon steel pipe and with an inner coating has a cement layers basically. So if you look at from the top, and it will be full of a carbon steel painted pipe, but if you look at the inner layer of the pipe actually, it will have a cement coated for certain thickness. So that helps for the resistance of any minor corrosion in the common water fluids, because generally the normal fire water will not have such a corrosive nature. So that's how these materials have come in place for such uses basically. So now let's go to the last one. The last one is, instead of concrete lined pipes, there are concrete pipes also. These concrete pipes are used for storm water services. That is again it's an underground services. So storm water services we can say, or any drainage systems, or any flood water systems. So basically these are used for the underground services. So we have these many different services and different piping systems. So I would say nearly I have highlighted over here around 10 different types actually. Each of these requirements we have some minor difference in designs as well, in terms of the providing support, in terms of providing the line above the ground or underground actually, in terms of how the constructability works. If you look at the cemented pipes, and these are not welded, right? So if you look at the welded pipes, those constructabilities are completely different. You have to go for hydro testing, and you have to go for NDT, RT. So these requirements vary. So that's how I truly find that piping design is such a wonderful engineering field, where you will experience a lot of new things if you kept on exploring more number of services and more number of projects actually. So with this, let me end this topic, and I'll meet you in another fantastic video. Until then, bye from Subhash Chandra.